Hello everyone! After an eternity, I'm back with some more redstone. Some of you may recognize this. I found it on YouTube. It's called a two-way repeater. For those of you who don't know, a two-way repeater is a sort of repeater where both ends of a signal may be the output and the input. If you first try this, you may encounter a problem of a sort of memory cell, like this. But no, a working two-way repeater doesn't have that problem. After seeing this, I thought, what about a four-way repeater? Why? Just for the fun of it. But still, what about a four-way repeater? You know, like, this is the input, the output's turned on. Same way over here, and all the rest. Now you may say that this may be it, but this isn't a repeater now, is it? And so I looked on YouTube for a design, just in case someone else thought of it first. But no, I found no four-way repeater on YouTube. And so I followed my philosophy, which is, when you can't find something, you make it. And so I made it. This is a fully working four-way repeater. And so when you take an input on, the outputs turn on. When the input is turned off, the outputs turn off. And this works on any side. Now you may notice this over here. This is a control panel which will simply control the outputs. Because the actual four-way repeater, is this over here, this wiring over here. That is the control panel. It is there just in case, like, if you want this to be the input, and then maybe you maybe don't want this to be the output, so turn it off and there won't be any output over here. Whether you turn off the output of the input or not doesn't really matter. There used to be a problem with this, but now I fixed it. And so whether the output of the input is turned on or off doesn't matter. But if you want simply these two outputs to be turned on, so be it. If you want only this output again to be turned on, then shall it be like that. If you want these two to be turned on, so be it. Now how this works, I'll show over there how it works, yeah. A note that I must say is that this may not be the most compact design in the world. That's because this is the first time that I make a four-way repeater, so it isn't really compact. But this is how it works. When you turn on an input, on the side of the input turns first, of course. But then all the inputs will go into a central redstone torch tower, which will then redistribute outputs to these inputs. To avoid the input to be then powered by the output like this, which would cause again a memory cell, when the input is first flickered, this piston turns off, blocking the output from turning on. In the case of the output turning on, so if this is the output, then to avoid the output from turning on the input, which would turn off the output, which would cause a sort of clock like this one over here, simply this, to avoid this from happening, when the output, oopsie, I must modify it, sorry. When the output is turned on, like this. Then, again, modifications, because this is the old version. So this is the new version. When the output is turned on, it turns off the input. And so over here, this is the old version. Just slight comment, because in the old version, when you would turn off the input, then there would be a sort of pulse coming back. This fixes it. So yeah, back to the video. This is how it works. If you still don't understand it quite well, then I'm gonna make one. So turn everything off. Boop. No. Boop. Yeah. And so to make this sort of design, you place 3 redstone like this, and then a redstone over here, which will go into a block. I'm gonna come back to it later. This is the input. Place a block over here, then a repeater, then some redstone wire to the input or the output. Then there is the output from the central tower. The output goes into a redstone dust, which then goes into a block. This is where this comes into play. Here, place a redstone torch and over it a piston, like this. Then over here, place a repeater, then some redstone dust. Over here, place these 2 blocks like this. More redstone dust. Over here, a redstone torch, and over here, a piston. This is for the control that the output has over the input. And so this should be it. If you use this as the input, the outputs turn on. If you use it as an output, oopsie, hey, I love myself. There you go. Now if you want to use it as an output, that works. Then you add the control panel. This will simply control the output. Place a lamp to know if the output is on or off. Lever beside it. Then wire it up and connect it to the piston that controls the output, like this. Now place some redstone dust over here, a redstone torch, so that this dust is on, which turns off the piston. Why? Because this is off, so there shouldn't be any output. To turn it on, go! And so now you may control the output. Since this is off, there is no output. When it's on, there can be an output. So this is it. A 4-way redstone repeater. Don't know if it has any use, but it's a cool idea to go with. And so on that note, thanks for watching.